Okay, we continue in Sefer Shoftim. We're beginning Perek Tes. We finished with Yerubal, with Gidon, and the last Perek ended that the Jewish people did not do kindness to the house of Yerubal, according to all the goodness that he did for the Jewish people, and now we will see what that lack of kindness is. So, next 5 Psukim, Psukim Aleph to Hey, so we see a very ugly story. Vayelech Avimelech ben Yerubal Shchema el Achei Imo. We have been informed that Avimelech had Gidon had 71 children. He had 70 children at home, and he had one child from his concubine in Shechem, and whose name was Avimelech. So Avimelech, the son of Yerubal, he went to Shechem, to the brothers of his mother. Remember, this was from his mother's side. That was where his family was. His father was backing up from. Vaydaber aleihem, and he spoke to them. Velkom mishpachas beis avi imo, and to the entire family of the house of his mother's father, Lamor, saying the following: Dabru no beoznei kol balei Shechem. Please speak into the ears of all the people who are the masters of Shechem, the important people of Shechem, and ask them the following question: Ma tov lachem, what is better for you? Hamshol bochem shivim ish. Should 70 people rule over you? Who are these 70 people? Kol b'nei Yerubal, all the children of Yerubal, Gidon. If they will be able to rule over you like one person, which obviously is not possible. Who's going to push one off from the other? If they all want to rule, how is that going to work? Is that going to work out well? Uzachartim, and remember, guys, ki atzmechem uvesarchem ani, that I am your flesh and I am your bone. So very interesting what is developing over here. We begin to see the actions of a potential demagogue, a future demagogue in this Avimelech. And remember, if you got such a name, you have to remember your name does something to you. He named him Avimelech, the father of the king, so there's Malchus in his name, which is a very, has a lot of potential to that name, potentially positive, potentially negative. But you notice how he's asking the question, what's better for you guys? Now, you'll see in a minute, do you think he really cares about what's better for them? But that's how he words it for them. Right? He's just flattering them. He's trying to... This is his arrogance, as you'll see, is coming up over here, and he asks, and he brings up the issue: is it good that 70 guys should rule over you? Who was talking about rulership? His father had categorically rejected the idea of being a king. And do you think the brothers were thinking about ruling, and they planned on all ruling together? He's only saying Lashon Hara about them, right? So, it's like he's bringing up the whole issue. That didn't seem to be much of an issue, it would appear. We don't see anywhere else, any other hints in the Navi that anybody else was trying to be the king over here. And then he throws in, remember, I am your flesh, I am your bones, right? So there's a lot of brotherhood over here, if hinting to the fact if I would be the leader, it's good to have relatives in high places. And that's what the Malbim speaks out over here. He says, go tell the other people of Shechem, it's going to be for your benefit. If you're going to have Gidon's children ruling, it's going to be chaos. Right? That's not going to be good for the people. A. And number 2, remember, if I rule, I'm your favorite son. I'm from your place. I'll do things favorably for you people. So that was his beginning. So, and you get people to well up public opinion for you. He doesn't go. He goes to his family. He goes, now go speak to the people of Shechem. See what they feel like. Vayidabru achei imo alav, pasuk Gimel, and the brothers of his mother, they speak to them, Bosnei kol balei Shechem, into the ears of all the people of Shechem, important people of Shechem. It's called these words. Vayet libam acharei Avimelech, and their hearts turned after Avimelech, ki amru achinu, because they said he is our brother. Now, notice there were two reasons given initially. It'll be good for everybody. It'll be good for everybody. And we're mishpacha. So what did they listen to? It wasn't that the act will be good for everybody, but that he is our mishpacha. Yeah, we have a lot to gain from this. I don't know if it's going to be good for everybody, but we have a lot to gain from this. All right. So, one second. And obviously, we'll see that if you want to become a leader, what's the first thing you have to do to be a leader? Get rid of any potential opposition. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. We're going to learn a lot about politics today. Daled. Vayitnu lo shivim kesev mi beis Baal Bris, and they gave to him 70 silver coins, probably expensive coins, from the house of the Baal Bris. That was the name of the idol, the Baal Bris, the Baal of the covenant. So in other words, you need money for your political war chest. No one could be
70 is the 70 number of the children?
Yes, yeah. Of course. But you need money to do what you have to do. Nobody could be president of the United States without money, without getting a lot of donations. And what's the first thing you're going to do to be president? You're going to say how bad the other president is. Not how good I am, how bad everyone else is. Do you want another 4 years of this? Of course you don't. So elect me, it'll be better. How will it be better? He has no idea. What was his slogan? What? Something about it's time for a change. Something,
Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can.
Yes, something about change. Something about change.
Same also.
Yeah. So now you got to get rid of your potential political opposition. So they give him. Interesting. They give him 70 coins. So, to do what you have to do. And they're obviously hinting to him what has to be done. Avimelech hires 70 mercenaries to go after him. Reikim, empty people, pochazim, people do things quickly without thought. What's the word I'm looking for?
Robots.
No. Impulsive. Yeah, impulsive. Impulsive people. A mob. You just get 70 guys. Here's a gold coin. Do what you got to do. Then you can get drunk. Have a good time. People who don't really worry much about life. People, lower types of people. So this is how we're going to get rid of all the people. Now, obviously, you got this from the Baal. The Baal would be very happy to get rid of the children of Gidon, because Gidon was Yerubal. He was against the Baal. And obviously, they felt his 70 sons who were living with him, obviously were influenced probably in a good way to be able to have negative feelings against the Baal. While it seems in Shechem, they were more in, obviously they had their idol over there, the Baal Bris was there, and Avimelech was hanging around those people, so he was getting support from the Baalei Bris. And we always understand there's an intimate connection between idol worship and murder. That is clearly a connection that exists. If you don't believe in Hashem, then there's no reason why you should not be a murderer. Right? So, and he picks people who don't think. Just give them a golden coin, and that's they're willing to sell their souls for a very little amount. Right? So, you find like-minded people find like-minded people. So it comes along, unfortunately. Okay. So here is where we're going to see that the people of Shechem, they take part in this heinous crime. Pasuk Vayavo beis aviv Afrasa. So he comes to the house of his father in Afras. Vayarog es achav b'nei Yerubal shivim ish alav enachas. And he kills his brothers, the sons of Yerubal, 70 men on one stone. In other words, a very brutal very brutal act. Life had no value to these people. And what's more important is the people of Shechem weren't against this. There was support. They understood where this 70, it wasn't just 70 coins. Tom, why did they give 70 coins, right? They understood, it goes without saying, let me rule and not them, so we got to get rid of them. So they understood. They gave them the 70 coins. Nobody was arguing about it. And he just kills them out.
The 70 children were all male?
Yeah. It seems. Maybe there were females. Could be females too.
And there wasn't one.
But the males are significant because they're the potential heirs.
So wasn't one oldest that could say, wait a minute,
I don't think this. They probably came in the middle of the night and they just killed them out in one shot. It wasn't like they had a discussion over here. You heard 70. People weren't thinking about who would think that your own brother would kill you. Right? And then things were quiet. They weren't having any trouble from the non-Jews. The Midianites were driven out. People were afraid to start up with Jews. Things were quiet.
And like you said, it doesn't even seem like they were thinking about leadership.
That doesn't appear they were thinking about leadership. They didn't have guards, and they just killed them all in one shot. However, Vayivaser Yosam ben Yerubal HaKatom Ki Nechba, who remained, only one out of the 70, really only 69 were killed. One of the 70 remained, and that was Yosam, the son of Yerubal. He was the smallest one, and he was able to hide. Since he hid, he did not get killed. And the Medrash, not a lot of Medrash on this story, but a little bit. And again, clearly, this guy is a very cruel person, no question about this. The Meforshim are a little bit, talk about a little bit the parshas he mentioned. It's a little disturbing. How are we going to get 70 Jews to kill other people? This is not, typical Jewish behavior. I mean, we haven't seen this yet. Now, we'll have to discuss later when we get to the story of Pelegesh Begiva, when we have the civil war against the Jews. But here, this is like mama's like a mafia job here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just bring your hired henchmen, just go kill them out in cold blood. It's like unbelievable. Where would you find this in the Jewish nature to do such a thing? So it's interesting. If you go through Sefer Yeshua, we do not find anything specifically rating how the city of Shechem was conquered by the Jewish people. You don't find any psukim saying that Shechem was conquered by the Jewish people. We just find that it's in Shevet Ephraim and was delegated to the children of Kahos as an Ir HaMiklot, as a city of refuge for the Levites. And there's many other sources that talk about that. And when they divvied out the city's Ir HaMiklot, it was before Shechem was conquered. We also find at the end of Sefer Yeshua that where was the covenant made with Yeshua and the Jewish people to behave? It was done in the city of Shechem. So it could be, I'm not saying it with certainty, but since they never really killed out any of the Goyim who lived in Shechem. And we'll see later on, so it could be the Baalei Shechem, the important people of Shechem, are the Chivites, the leftover Chivites, as we'll see later on, will be hinted to in this parak, and could be they accepted upon themselves to be taxed and to do 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, but you could keep them then. So then maybe it's understandable he hired 70 Goyim to do it. And of course, listen, obviously the Baal influence came from Goyim as well. So it could be there was a lot of non-Jewish influence in this story, and could be it was the non-Jews who killed the Jews. It's possible. Yeah. It's not clear, but still, obviously, it does not suggest anything good about Avimelech.
To be clear, Avimelech wouldn't be Jewish.
And again, you have to understand, he got it from a Pelegesh. A lot of not good came from Pilagshim, the concubines. They weren't the main wives. Not a lot of good things come from that. So it could be there was a lot of non-Jewish influence. It's not clear. Either way, it's not a very good story. The Medrash tells us, there's only a couple of Medrashim on this. The Medrash Tanchuma says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avimelech, I mean not directly, but his response was, you Russia. Look at the cover that I gave to a different Avimelech. Right. Or rather, look at the covenant that Avimelech gave to Abraham. Avimelech, the king of the Plishtim. He gave Abraham covenant. And you, who you're called in his name, you stand and kill his brothers, Abraham's brothers, you're acting different than even the Goyish Avimelech. Right? You kill 70 brothers on one stone? Woe to such a man, says God. And so did Shlomo HaMelech say in Koheles, that he talks about of a man who has these aspirations, and you'll see, if not, he will also be killed on a stone, as we will see what happens. Again, Hashem says, I wrote in my Torah that if you have fear of Hashem, it says in Mishlei, Yiras Hashem Tosif Yomim. One who has fear of Hashem has longer days. Ushnos Rishayim Tikzarenu, and the years of the wicked are shortened. So you killed your brothers, I swear that I will shorten your life. So you see a very interesting opposite. What happened with Gidon? Gidon was not looking for kingship. He refused kingship. He may not have been the biggest tzaddik in the world, but he was a decent man. And what happened? He lived to a seva tova. He lived to a good old age. Right? Now but you, it's going to be the opposite. You're going to die very quickly. And what was the cause of all this? So if you look in Mishlei, it also says, Lifnei shever yigba leva eish. Before the breaking is the arrogance of the heart of man. And the Medrash says, this is a reference to Avimelech, that he wasn't broken until he was arrogant and he killed his brother. So we see that the Medrash tells us it was the attribute of arrogance that caused him to do these terrible things, which is the opposite of what his father was. And that's what another Medrash says, the same thing. He says, Gavas Adam Tashpilenu, the arrogance of the man will cause him to go low. Ushval Ruach, and the man of a low spirit, a humble spirit, Yitzmoch Kavod, will be supported with honor. Medrash says, anyone who runs after a position, the position runs away from him. Anyone who runs away from it, the position runs after him. Avimelech, Ben Yerubal ran after it, and the honor ran away from him. So you see how terrible the midos a person has that can cause all kinds of destruction. And also you see that Avimelech, who chose Gidon, who chose the easier way out for the end of his life, and have all those children just for his own personal needs, and didn't step up to the plate, as it were. So although in his lifetime things remained okay, but you see nothing really came out of him afterwards. All his kids get killed. Avimelech, we'll see, it's going to be a whole disaster. It's going to come out of him. So again, Gidon meant well. Certainly meant well, but was not the biggest scholar, and therefore, didn't do a lot of other things that should have been done, and therefore we find a terrible legacy that follows him in this situation here. Okay, you had a question? No?
I'm just wondering just about Shechem, and I know the murders didn't take place in Shechem. They went
to Tafra.
But it's the whole idea started in
Shechem is not a good place. No, Shechem is called Makom Hamucham Lepuranos. It's a place where always it's ready for terrible things to happen. The brothers sold Yosef, not far from Shechem.
Well, I was thinking about the brothers who murdered all the people of Shechem after Dinah.
Right? They killed, right? Shechem is not a good place. That's where the Maluch, that's where the kingdom got split. The kingdom will get split in Shechem.
Why is Yosef buried there?
Why is he buried? That's his place.
Where's Shechem today?
Nablus, northeastern part of Eretz Yisrael. It's in the territories, quote unquote. Right? That's where Yosef is buried. And now, so who lives there? Arabs live there now. It's not a good place. Okay, so this is terrible. Okay, Pasuk Vav. Vayesvu kol balei Shechem v'chol beis Milo vayelchu ve'amlichu es Avimelech lemelech. So now all the people, the big shots in Shechem, and all who lived in Beis Milo, I guess a place nearby, they all gathered together. They went and they coronated Avimelech to be a king. What exactly that means as a king, again, it's not clear. There was no king yet. Maybe they started him as a local king. But they wanted him to be the king. They make him the king willingly by Yamlichu. Im Elon Mutzav, near a place called Elon Mutzav, a plateau that had a number of monuments there. Okay, so fait accompli, the whole thing was finished. The whole, picking him up as the king has been finished. So now, Pasuk Zayin. I'm sorry, Mutzav Asher B'Shnam, which is in Shnam. Pasuk Zayin. Vayegidu LeYosam, it was told to Yosam what happened. That not only were his brothers killed, Avimelech goes and makes himself the king. Vayelech Vayamud Barosh Har Grizim. He now goes and he stands at the top of Mount Grizim. We know the two mountains, Har Grizim and Har Eval. When the Jewish people entered Eretz Yisrael, Yeshua on the very first day took them here to Shechem, to Har Grizim and Har Eval, and this is where the Torah tells us about all the curses and blessings that were given on these mountains. And if you recall, when we learned it in Sefer Yeshua, that this was a prediction that in the future the Melucha would split, or the kingdom would split by Har Grizim, Har Eval. Now that's going to be later on. Yerovam ben Nevat already see the beginnings of the split are happening right now, where someone from Shevet Ephraim is deciding to take Menashe really, but in Ephraim. He's from Menashe in Ephraim. So it was told to him. So he goes there to try to remind them of all those curses that were made, and a lot of those curses, if you look carefully, they all have to do with the cloak and dagger of the kingdoms. If you're going to take over as a king, you're going to have to be a murderer, you're going to kill your father's children, you're going to kill all those curses. Curses one does this, curses one does that. So he's kind of reminding them this is what it was all about. So he goes there, Vayisa Kola, he raises his voice, Vayikra, and he calls, Vayormal, he says, Shimu Elai Balei Shechem, listen to me, O you noblemen of Shechem. Yishmalechem Elokim, and Hashem should listen to you. Now, that's very difficult to understand. What's this, Hashem will listen to you? So the Malbim says that Hashem should judge between us. The Targum Yonasan says, interestingly, V'kabel tzlo schon Hashem, and Hashem should accept your prayers. What kind of prayers are they doing? Perhaps He is now going to give them a very big Musar shmuz. And perhaps they might do tshuva. And maybe they'll daven to Hashem, and Hashem will accept their prayers. Perhaps. Maybe he's being a little bit facetious, or whatever, but in other words, I'm going to give you some musar, and you better listen to this musar. Now again, there's a whole discussion about these midrash. There's a midrash that's very difficult to understand, because the way we always understand it, the way the Mishnah and Sota says, is that the Levites, when this blessings and curses took 200 years ago took place, the Levites stood at the valley in between the two mountains. They faced Har Grizim and they said the blessing. They faced Har Ezel, they said the curses. That's the way we understand it. But there's a medrash that seems to learn differently than this. And this tells us why he stood at Har Grizim. The medrash says why, but the curses were given on Har Evel. Right? So this is what Yosem says. The Kusim, the Shomronim in the future, they're going to be on Har Grizim. Later on, idolaters will take Har Grizim, Mount Grizim, as their capital. And they're going to say, there the brachas were given. And they feel that's a very blessed mountain. And the truth is, it is a blessed mountain. That makes this midrash hard to understand. But don't you know that over there the curses were given? What does he mean? So he says, those who were standing on Har Evel, right, they were cursing. So he learns the dimensions, and Har Evel, they were giving curses to which direction? To Har Grizim. And the ones in Har Grizim were giving the blessings were giving to Har Evel. So really it's reversed. That really Har Grizim was the place where the curses went upon. So you'll see the curses will come upon you. Either way, however you understand these medrashim, this is a place where a lot of curses were given, and he's implying that all the curses are going to come to you. Now he's going to give a mashal, a beautiful, beautiful mashal, and an allegory. So what we'll do is we'll first go read the allegory straight through. It goes from Pasuk Ches through Pasuk Tesvav. Okay? And today we'll begin the allegory. Probably been on this for a little while. And then we'll see what he does with the allegory. But I think you'll understand to a certain degree what's going on with the allegory, and we'll do the Malbim inside. It's a beautiful Malbim. It's like it's like what the Malbim knew about politics. a couple hundred years ago, and what he wanted to share with us about it. Now whenever you're going to look at politicians, you'll understand exactly what's going on over there. So anyway, Pasuk Ches. Here's the allegory. Remember, he's at the top of the mountain. He's yelling down to the people of Shechem. He has their attention. Obviously, he wants to be far away, because if they'd catch him, they'd kill him. So he wants to be far enough away, so I'm sure he has an escape route planned, etc. The trees went to anoint upon themselves a king. So they had to look for a king. And they said to the olive tree, Mocha aleinu, reign over us. So the olive said, Pasuk test, the olive said to them, have I stopped giving my fatness? In other words, have I ceased to produce oil? Upon which I am honored by God and people? Do I no longer give forth oil? And therefore, so therefore I now want to rule over people? In other words, do I no longer have anything to offer that I want to rule over people? Do you understand? That's right. So then the trees go to the te'ena, the figs. So please rule over us, figs. And the fig tree says, have I stopped giving off my sweetness and my good crop? That I should go and rule over the trees? Good base. So the trees speak to the vine, to the grapevine. You go and rule over us. Pasuk Gimel. Said the grapevine, have I stopped giving off my wine that gives joy to God and to man? And I should go and rule over the trees? So all the trees now go to the thorn bush. Leich atom meloch aleinu. You go and rule over us. Tesvav. Vayomer ha'atad. So the atad, the thorn bush, says like El Ha'etzim, says to the trees, Im be'emes atem moishri moishri l'melech aleichem. If you truly are not, like, first of all, he's saying, you're making fun of me, aren't you? I'm a thorn bush. Why do you want me to rule over you? So he's like saying, well, if you truly want me to be your king, and you want to anoint me for that, l'melech aleichem, to be a king of you, bo chasu b'tzili, so then go take shelter under my shade. V'mayin, and if not, in other words, you're playing jokes with me. You really don't want to rule me, you're just making fun of me. Teitze eish min ha'atad, you should know that the thorn bush can make a lot of fire. Very easy to burn. A fire will come from the thorn bush, vatochal es arze halvanon, and will destroy even the huge cedar, Lebanon cedar trees. Will destroy all that. That is the mashal.
Can I have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
We celebrate the Festival of Trees, like this coming next month.
Yes, festival.
Connected with this preparation?
Is there what?
Is it connected with?
I don't know, I'll have to think about it. It's a good point. I'll have to think about it.
What do you think about it?
I have to think about it. There could be. I have to think about it. I have to think about it. Okay, what I want to do is now I want to go through the Malbim over here. Go through the Malbims. So those who want to look at it, it's in Hebrew. Okay, you want to pass it around. Those who want to look at it, I think Yehudis has a Malbim. This is not the class to miss. This is going to be a good piece now, the Malbim. Okay, it's not a class to miss today. All right, if you need, I have another copy. Okay. Okay, so we're starting on the one that says, it's two-sided. Do on the one that says page Lamed Daled. On the upper right-hand side, it says Lamed Daled. And look underneath the main text of the verses. First we'll look on the left side, it says Hashelos, the questions. That's in the very small left little paragraph, very little left paragraph by the test. He has a few technical questions that he's going to answer. Number one, Ma Ratza b'mashal hazeh. What does he want by giving this mashal? Why is he giving this type of allegory? What's the message allegory? A. B. Why does he choose dafka, the grape, the olive, and the fig as the trees? There's a lot of other trees. How do you pick those three trees?
Special status.
Okay, we have to know. Well, there's other ones also, so we'll have to see. Next question. Lama betena begefen. Why by the tena and the gefen, by the fig and the vine, Amar, the tree said, Lechi molchi, go and rule over us, but ubezayis, but with the zayis, with the olive, Amar molka, it said rule below milas lecha without the word going. If you look carefully, if you look by the olive, the trees went and said, rule over us. By the fig and by the vine, all it says is, it says, lechi, go, molchi, and rule. Why does it add go by the second two fruits? Okay. And why by all of them does it say that the vayomer ha'etzim, it says, and the trees went to them, but by the atad it says, vayomru kol ha'etzim, all the trees went to the atad. These are all technical questions that have won't help us much. We don't have a good working shot. So let's now look to the right side. It's a bit long, but it's just a beautiful malbim. You have to do it all. Usually don't do them all. So on Pasuk Ches, it's the second line on the right side, the malbim. Halok halchu eitzim. Ha'eitzim halchu halichos harbe. See, it's a double expression, first of all. Halok halchu. They double went. So the trees went a lot of goings. Limshoch le'melch, to find a king. In other words, it wasn't so simple. V'nimshon, what's that teaching us? Shibnei Adam, that man. And what do we know of first rule? The Torah says, Ki Adam eitz hasada, man is a tree of the field. So tree is always code word for man. Well, the analogies are obvious. Tree has roots. It grows straight up. It gives off fruits. Human being comes from the ground, like the tree comes from the ground. He has roots. He develops fruits. He has children. So whenever we're talking about trees, we're talking about people. So it's talking about people. They wanted to find themselves some type of ruler. And therefore, usually, the way when you're looking for a king is lavakesh isha yoser roi vayoser me'ula lemahalech shlemas haklal. Usually looking for a guy who's really worthy, who's the best man for the job. Now, who would be in the best position to pick the best man for the job? You're going to go to some low-income neighborhood of people who are not educated, who don't know anything, and when you go over to them and say about one of the politicians, do you believe in so-and-so's position when that is not his position at all? They say, yeah, I think he's right about that. I'm not going to go into details. But you go to you say, well, you think his position, the one you want to vote for, what do you think his position is about? You agree with this position? And it's not even his position. Total opposite. They don't know nothing. They just want to vote for him because of his skin color, and that's it. Or for whatever other reasons you want to vote for people. Uneducated people. Who do you pick to pick a leader? Right? So he says, so when that's going to happen, right? The masses don't pick the leaders. The leaders, the wise people, those are the ones who are in a position to decide who to pick as a leader. Therefore, it didn't say in the beginning, all the trees went. It didn't say all the trees. The trees. The special trees. The special trees. Ratzalomim to say, the choicest trees, osei pri, the ones who themselves make fruits, which are the best of the people. So I guess the pomegranate tree went over, and the date tree went over, and the other productive ones, people who have worked in their lives to make money and know what it means to be a hard-working person, to build up a country. People who are wise, gifted, geniuses, who understand the political climate out there. People who understand what the agricultural needs are. People with some brains. who understand what life is all about. Those are the ones who pick. Shehem HaMuvcharim, those are the choice of the people. Right? So that's the first point he's saying. See, this whole idea, in elections, people should elect their leader. It's Mishigas. He represents the people. Sataka, you want to represent the people. That's what you're going to get. Vinay hatachlitziyot yischalku l'shlosha. So now you're looking for a leader. There's three overall purposes for which you might want to pick a leader. And he's going to elaborate on these. First one's called tov, good. Well, he'll explain all these. Orev, pleasant. Mo'il, beneficial. So we'll see what that means. In other words, if you're looking for a leader, you want him to at least have one of these three qualities. Either yesh yosim tachlis levakesh ach hatov bavur shu tov lo'osha nefesh. There are those who will look for a goal, a benefit, to find one who is good, meaning is tov lo'osha nefesh, which is good for the comfort of the soul. In other words, one who is more spiritually gifted. Either you're going to look for someone who's spiritually good, it's good for your soul. A religious leader. There's those who look for someone who's just sweet and pleasant for the body alone, who at least give us a good economy. At least will give us good, chicken in every pot, 2 cars in every garage, etc., etc. At least will take care of us physically. And someone want a healthy blend between the two, which is called hamoil. In other words, good spiritually and good physically. Because if you're looking for pleasantry, that's only animalistic or physical pleasure. But this third group is called mo'il, beneficial, that comes from the intellect as well. Okay. So now they're looking to try to find one of these three types of leaders. So vinay tchila yu habochrim hazakenim v'achramim v'miyidushu acharatov hamuchlat. So these elders are going to look for the best leader possible. What's the best one? So who's of the three, which is the best? Spiritual, physical, or a synthesis? So he says, the Malma says, V'mamlitz, and the one giving the analogy, Shomer says, L'zayis malkolenu. So it goes to the Aleph. It says, Aleph, you rule over us. Shezayis yitzayir esatov. The zayis is described as the good. K'amotzi shemen lamor, because it brings oil for lighting. Very interesting. It's very good. We're learning this at Hanukkah time. It's beautiful for Hanukkah. Shesemoshel al or hachachma Torah. That's an analogy to the light of wisdom in Torah. V'ha'or nikra tov, and light is called tov. V'hiskimu, they agreed, ki li'ish kazeh alaki roy amlucha, they agreed that such a godly man, he is the one who should be the king. And who should be the king? Should be the biggest tzaddik, the one who's learned the most Torah. V'alkein, therefore, lo amru lecha malka. They didn't say go and rule. Meaning say you're going to have to run after and bring the leadership to you. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't have to move for this. Why? Because the kingdom is inherently his because he is the most worthy. You don't have to go and make efforts. The kingdom should be yours because you have what the most important quality. You are a Torah leader. You're not going to have to politic for this. It's obvious you should be the leader. Test. So what does the Aleph say? This gifted person, he doesn't want leadership. Because that will finish him off from his spiritual perfection. He'll become a slave to the people. Take care of all the things that they have to do. He's going to have to worry about all their mundane things, and that'll take him away from his learning. Moshe Kosov says it brings your pasuk in Hurus. We can skip that little pasuk over there. Therefore he answered. He says, have I stopped my fatness? That means his understanding of wisdom, and the divine flow of prophecy, which he brings honor to Hashem and people. Ki ofos haruch Eloki, because that godly spirit, nikra b'shem kavod, because it's called kavod in the holy writings. So he's saying, I don't have any more brains to develop? That God and people will give me honor, get the essential kavod, because kavod really, ura kivodi, we translate ura nafshi, my nefesh. Kavod is a code word for nefesh, for soul. So in other words, they will honor me for the soulfulness that I have. So do I have no more Torah to learn? What do I want to get involved with that? To stop my Torah learning? So that's certainly not something that he's interested in. That I need to go, that I have to take care of them. So he was not interested. It's very interesting. The Or Chaim HaKodesh, I mentioned it in Shal Shudas, but not everybody was there in Shal Shudas. In Parashat Tetzaveh, where Hashem said to Moshe, Atat Tetzaveh, you command the Jewish people, and get Shemen Zayis. Get olive oil for the menorah. Shemen Zayis Zoch, Kasis Lamaor. Pure Shemen Zayis, that's crushed for the illumination. So the Or Chaim HaKodesh brings as a remez and a hint. He brings from the Zohar, he says the 4 exiles that the Jews went through, we were redeemed from each of them in the merit of each one of our patriarchs. The first exile, we were redeemed in the merit of Avram. The second exile, the merit of Yitzchak. The third exile, the merit of Yaakov. The fourth depends on the schus of Moshe. And in another place he answers, why isn't it Yehuda? So he says everybody comes from Moshe. The fourth will be, and that's the one we're in now, the schus of Moshe. And that's why he says, Ulazeh nisarech hagolos. That's why the Golos has taken so long. We haven't been redeemed. And these are the famous words of Or Chaim. Ki kol od she'ein oskim b'Torah, because as long as we aren't engaged in learning Torah, u'mitzvahs, ein Moshe chafetz liga'ol am batloni min haTorah. Hashem has no interest in redeeming a people who waste their time and don't learn Torah.
Hashem or Moshe?
Moshe. And Moshe chavetz. Moshe does not want to, in other words, his merit brings the redemption. What am I redeeming them for? People just want to, listen to music on their iPods, play with their Wiis. That's what people go to movies and watch television. I have to redeem them for that. Redeem them. Like, what's Mashiach all about? What does the Rambam say? What are we yearning for Mashiach for? So the non-Jews will stop oppressing us so we can learn Torah. But if you're not learning Torah now, what's Mashiach going to help? That's why Hashem says, Atot Tetzaveh, you command the Jewish people to get Shemen Zayis. Shemen Zayis, that's the code word, oil, which brings fire, which brings light, and light is Torah. So that's the whole condition. The condition is you have to learn Torah. V'yiko elecha Shemen Zayis. It has to be zach, it has to be pure, meaning you're learning the Torah for the sake of Torah, not for ulterior motives, not for honor, not to lord over people. And the Torah has to be kosis lamor, it has to be crushed, just like good olives has to be crushed. To be learning Torah, it has to be this mesiras nefesh. You have to give yourself over, you have to work hard to get Torah, to crush yourself, you have to kill yourself for Torah. And that you, Moshe, it's going to be in your merit that the Jews will be redeemed, so you have to do this. So obviously, who is the first leader you would want? Someone who's a Torah scholar should be the leader. And of course, that Torah scholar says, I'm not interested in that. Do I have no more Torah to teach? That should be busy with everything else. So we'll continue this fascinating mashal tomorrow, Mirz Hashem.